else than DAO.
We kept silence all this time.
Oh, the kids did not.
Good. So I'm happy at the end of this week to spend this 1 hour 30 with you. I'm pleased that we have a couple of faces that I know already from previous panels, and the new faces as well. The way we do it is we have a quick introduction of everyone, what he or she is doing, what they are looking for here. And then we will go one by one to take like 10 minutes or a bit more, where you go further in what are you looking for, what are your recommendations. If you are a startup, what kind of new faces you would like to promote, the way we do it in front of the investors, and the other way around also, if they are investors, what kind of technologies they are looking for. If you are an advisor to an investor as well, speak about your recommendations, for example, how to make the transactions or the investment transactions in whether it's blockchain or digital or other technologies or sectors, how that should happen. Also, I would like to give all information to the people who listen to the recording. First is they will watch you, they will see your names here, they will see what you are talking about, but a lot of the messages might be lost.
One second, please. Nikita, could you switch off sharing your screen? So, because we don't see Meher Chiba. So when we will have time, so we'll let you show your screen. Thank you.
Okay.
So continue.
That's just nice to have. It's not mandatory to see my face. And then the way we do it, also we have this chat box, and then everyone of you could go to the chat box and then fill in your email, if you wish, your LinkedIn profile, any useful links to topics you were talking about here in the session. And with this, they will have the complete picture, and then we will make sure there is a good follow-up as well after this session. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. So let me start by myself, and then we go probably in the order where I see the names here coming. So Maher Chabo, I'm based in Paris. These days, very sunny and warm. I have 30 years of experience in digitalization and in various industries like the energy sector. Worked 6 years at Capgemini, 21 years at SAP, and 3 years at GE Digital. I'm a frequent as well speaker on advanced technologies like AI, big data, Internet of Things, and blockchain in events, as well as on LinkedIn, where I'm an influencer and have sometimes some key messages I communicate there. I'm looking forward in my role here as the chair of this event, supporting Dimitri and the team to have a fantastic conversation today. Dimitri.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Dmitry. I actually have 10 years in digital organizations, so help companies to transform their processes into the cloud. So right now I'm launching the project DAO.digital that helps connecting experts with startups and investors. And basically we're doing here the pitch presentations of the startups that would help you to raise money for your projects. So basically we're building the community, and I will be really happy if you join us and help building this platform. Thank you. Who is next?
Next will be Oleksandr Papevis.
Yes, exactly. This is exactly as it sounds. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm busy more than 20 years in various technical spheres, including hardware, including software. I was a railway engineer, then a rocket science engineer too. I was leading the science team. 3 years ago, I shifted to another scope of activity, which involves blockchain. And now I'm a CTO of Vendacity Marketplace, which we are actually representing in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Thank
Please.
you. The next one is Christian.
All right. Hello, everybody. I came from Italy, the country of pizza, but actually I live in Dubai for the last 14 years. And then I'm a digital marketing pioneer since I launched my first digital marketing campaign in 2003 while I was working for Oracle, the database company. And ever since I've been helping entrepreneurs, startup, and anyone else to go more and more digital and to get clients online. Also, for the last 10 years, I'm also a lecturer for the Digital Marketing Institute in Forma and in PwC Academy for digital marketing mainly, and sometimes artificial intelligence, digital transformation, etc. So I'm more than happy to share all of my knowledge with you guys, and then to present also my startup.
Okay, at Oracle, on which products or which sectors did you work?
I was in the services space. I was in Ireland first, and then moved to Madrid, to Spain, and then I was heading different sectors because in those organizations every year everything changed. So 1 year I was heading the telco, and then I was heading the finance sector, and then industries. So I got the chance to have a look around.
Okay. As I spent 21 years with SAP, Oracle was the enemy number one.
I know. Very good. That was the same for us. Glad to connect with you, Baher.
Nikita, Abramenko. You are on mute. Okay, so then let's go to next. Sorry, let me see. Jessica Morales.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Morales. I'm in Toronto, Canada. And I have about 15 years background in sales, customer service, and marketing, both in the finance and aviation industries. I'm now working as a communications assistant with Vendacity, the startup that we're presenting here today.
Thank you. Nikita, you seem to be unmuted now. You can go.
Yeah, I'm unmuted. Maybe I can start my presentation as well.
No, we finished the whole round of introductions first.
Okay. My name is Nikita Abramenko. I'm a serial entrepreneur. My previous project called Patok became the largest SME crowdlending in Russia. More than $100 million people invested in SME through this platform. And today I will introduce my new platform called Aura, and it's about SME bonds. That's all.
Perfect. Then we have Isaac Ilusanmi.
Actually, he's from Nigeria and having a very bad internet connection. It is a global problem for Nigeria, and I don't think he will be able to speak.
Okay,
maybe on the interview.
He can be on the listening mode. Okay.
Yes.
And then I understood that. So, do we have anybody else? No. Correct. So we have Nikita.
Yeah, we could continue.
And in Russian. Good. So I then would like to go through Nikita first. If you want to present first, make your presentation. We'll ask you questions, and then we will go to the next speakers. And then at the end, we will try to have like all a joint conversation as well, where anybody can comment on the presentation of all the others. Okay.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. By the way, what you are presenting, is it something you would like to share, or you can share?
Yes, of course, I can share this presentation.
Okay, in case then you put the link as well in the chat box, and that people can have access to it. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Aura. A few words about me. I already presented myself, but anyway, I'm from fintech, from Russian fintech. As I said before, I created the largest platform, largest crowd lending platform in Russia. And we exit from this company several months ago with our team. The platform was owned by Alpha Bank. It's the largest commercial bank in Russia. Well, and we, as I said, exit from this company and started our new platform called Aura. And this is a platform for issuing SME bonds. And I would like to warn listeners a little bit. We are not searching for mass investment in our platform in equity, but we're searching for investors in the fixed income instruments in Russia. Maybe those who watching for emerging markets and searching for high yield fixed income instruments, something like that. Because as we see, it's pretty interesting. Russia is a pretty interesting market, as we think. In the next few slides, I want to shortly explain market situation in Russia briefly and make our offer. Why it's a good opportunity to invest in Russian bonds right now, and what we offer in this case. So what we've got in Russia, we have highly developed banking system in terms of digitalization. Online SME lending growth from 0 to 1 in the last 4 years, and the SME online lending platform a little bit lose this game. So banks are very, very strong, but banks have lower customer acquisition cost and lower funding cost, and they are pretty good. But SME sector still are underserved. Most of the loans are overdraft type loans, unsecured, plenty affordable, but with low loan amounts limits. Because of limitation of automatic scoring system. Much more complicated analysis need to ensure quality risk analysis. From now on, you need to due diligence, and this procedure is quite expensive. Due diligence is quite expensive for banks. They don't go to this segment and start to make due diligence after company's revenue something like $10 or $25 million. So only for huge companies, okay? And the SME are not served by the banks. If your company's revenue lower than 25 million, you can easily get 100, 200 thousands of dollars. But if you need more, we call it, as we call it here in Russia, this long-term money for new project, etc. You'll have a complicated, uncomfortable pay process with bank. Okay. That's why bonds market and for SME is emerging and growth is very strong, 230% from year to year, from 2018 to 2019, 240. Of course, it's a low base effect, but anyway. In the link below, you can access to all of the high yield bond issued, and you will see a very low level of defaults. The defaults is lower than 1%. It's I don't know. Maybe it's the best result in the world for bonds market. So what we have a large number of quality companies in Russia. They are still underserved with lending. And high yield bonds as an instrument is a very rising instrument. Somewhat this level is low because bonds are available only for matured SME, large SMEs, and not to micro. In Patok, those platforms which I mentioned before, default was much higher, around 10%. So we don't serve micro business in Aura, and working only with matured companies in SME with a high income. So we see many very quality companies, and it's a huge segment. We aim to help 2,000 plus companies in next 2.5 years, and in the backup slides, you can find all the detailed information about how we calculate this number, why we think that we have really quality companies in Russia, and how we make this analysis. Okay. Sorry for my English. I try to try to improvise a little bit.
No problem.
Well, okay. So what do we offer? We know how to engage and engage of SME. In terms of digital marketing, we have a very high experience in working with SME here in Russia, so we know how to engage there. And we have a very strong due diligence. Our aim, our goal is to be the best in the sport, while we maximizing the digital part of the due diligence process. But we have a pretty huge problem here in Russia with funding. Yeah. And what we offer for our for foreign investors high yield bonds with a 16-20 interest rate. I think it's pretty good rate, as I see from the information of the interest rate of the bonds of foreign markets. 15-20% as we see high interest rate for a 1-2 year of durations with no rating grade. Each company which we introduce to investors are passing very strong due diligence process, which we'll be pleased to fully reveal for potential partners if you will be interested in this. And what our first user, it's a good example of the companies, of types of companies we are waiting for on the platform and searching the platform. This company called PimPay. Few words about it. The company serves 7,000 e-com shops across Russia. E-com right now in Russia have a high growth rate, very high, and it's strong and with a, how to say, for a long period. Not only about pandemic, COVID, just a good trend which was many years before and rising and still rising in many years. So they serve 7,000 of e-com shops with different products like lensing and so on. And the company more than 7 years in market. Many institutional investors already invest in this company, and so on. So if to summarize, we often investing into SME bonds like PimPay, which I mentioned before, with the high yield fixed income. We have a strong due diligence process, which we're pleased to reveal, and we allow only the most reliable companies here in the platform. So we invite you to chat if you know and connected with any type of investors who are searching for high yield instruments, which are pretty, how to say, scared. Connect they with us. Okay, that's all. I hope you understood a little bit from my presentation.
Thank you. So today, after 7 years in the market, so the success factors here, what were the success factors for your presence after 7 years in the market? Second is financially, where do you stand today?
You're asking about us or about our Azure?
Azure.
Azure. And once again, could you repeat, please? You're asking about 7 years.
What were the reasons actually you were successful? And second, where are you financially with this business?
Why PimPay is successful during 7 years? You're asking this, yeah?
Yes.
PimPay, it's a company which serves, how they serve small business. What's their main product? they made a loan mechanism for e-com shops to borrow their money when they send product through the Russian post to the buyer, to the how to say, to the customer. Okay. In Russia, this time is about 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, these goods are just going through the Russia somewhere in the region. Okay, and these 2 weeks, e-com shop doesn't receive money from the customer because he is waiting for his post. Okay, and what PMPay do? They are borrowing money in these 2 weeks for these shops. So in Russia, there's a lot of small shops, small interest shops, like thousands and thousands and thousands. So all of these 7 years, they how to say, they're just working with this segment and developing it. And as we see how e-com shops are growth in Russia, they financials is growing too, and they services is growing too in as well. So can see this by, as I said before, every company passing a due diligence process. And for those who interested in investment, by the way, for everyone, there is a good presentation which shows all of the PMPay's financial situation, P&L, I don't know, company structure, how many people work in there, how many I forget this word. Okay, well, all of the information about the company is opened, so you can find and see by yourself how it's growing. And of course, inside this document, you can find plans of the company, how they will grow, and. Okay. The main idea that's internet market just growing, and this service is pretty simple and affordable, and they are growing too.
Okay, the 16 to 20% coupon yield, monthly payment, 1-2 years duration. This is aggressive. I mean, have we seen that before, or is it the first time?
Not for Russia. Because what we have here in terms of interest rates, basic interest rate for SME in the banks, when you're passing all the strong how to say, restrictions of the banks, you will have 15-16%. So if you will see in my presentation, I left here as a docs file where you can find all of the bonds which are issued in Russia. So their middle interest rate, average interest rate, is about 15-16%. So it's pretty normal for our market, unfortunately.
Okay, excellent, thank you. So that's interesting. That's ambitious, aggressive, but we got it. I mean, it gave us a good insight on the Russian SME lending market. And I think we will have at the end of this session the opportunity as well to get questions from the rest of the team. Let me jump next to Jessica Morales, but before jumping to Jessica, I would like Madeleine Winkler, who joined us, to introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Madeleine Winkler, and I'm from Vendacity. I'm in the team with Jessica Morales and Oleksandr Papevis.
Thank you. Okay, if you have anything to share an email, a LinkedIn profile, or a link to any useful information, use the chat box to provide these links. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Jessica, the floor is yours.
Hi there. So are we going to play the pre-recorded presentation at the same time? Are we able to do that?
Yes.
Share the screen and click the checkbox that you share the audio from your computer. So there will be 2 checkboxes on the pop-up. So just choose these pop-ups and you are ready to show the video.
Sasha, are you able to do it on your end?
Click the button, demonstrate your screen. And you will be ready to choose this option.
I was under the impression that it had been submitted and it would be played. Just give me a moment, please.
Or you just send me the link. I will be. I could launch your video from my side. Just share the link in the chat.
So while we are waiting, because I see here Christian Farioli speaking about conferences at Google, including Google and NASA. So what do you think about the try of Elon Musk now to launch his shuttle and this people and where the weather was not great, and then there is now a new date to go on for that. But this is a very, very great success. I mean,
Yeah.
if it takes off properly and so on, but that was not the reason was not related to any technical problem but the weather. But I'm confident he will be successful. At the beginning, people were saying he's crazy.
I can only wish him the best of luck. Obviously, he's not a standard human being. He's something doing remarkable activities, and this they always come back in a positive ways to him. And that's all we do as a startup, as a person, as humans. We are also brands. We are personal brands. And what he's doing, aside of setting together some apparently impossible missions, he managed to get the traction of everyone else looking after him. I mean, we have the clear example of what he's doing with Tesla. I mean, he didn't invent the electric cars that they exist for more than 100 years, but he's the guy that set and create a brand which is absolutely after him. And this is what Steve Jobs have done with Apple. So very few individuals are so charismatic that they got able to get the traction of such a huge amount of individuals, and they became an icon themselves, so much that everyone want to buy their own stuff. Even though that a lot of Chinese companies are offering similar car to Tesla, some of them claiming to have battery that lasts longer than Tesla at a fraction of the price, still people want to buy Tesla because everyone want to get a piece of Elon Musk. So obviously his mission to Mars are unbelievable. I mean, he's doing something that no human being has ever done in life. How can you start yourself thinking I'm gonna go to Mars? But he got so confident that he got so many people following him, investing in him, and make it happen. So now, unfortunately, sometimes nothing goes according to plan. But I'm positive that he's gonna achieve something great. And
some people are saying that Steve Jobs compared to him is a nimble.
Yes, I mean, definitely Elon Musk is much more likable as an individual. It's kind of like Richard Branson. It's another very likable individual. Now, but Steve Jobs has been always admired by a lot of people, but hated by his own employees. So this makes you feel that there is something good in the way that he presents, but not so good in the way that it is in real life. I'm talking about Steve Jobs, where the opposite, Elon Musk is the guy that everyone loves. So it's
but
on the right track.
The risk that Elon Musk is taking by sending people to the universe, to the sky, and then be sure that the risk is almost zero that the guys can come back and so on. The aerospace is a different story. If your mobile phone is not working, it's not a big issue. You can have still a lot of bugs. But he's playing here in extremely critical actually stuff. Even the electrical cars, I mean, that has to be also fully secured because now they are including the whole package of autonomous driving. Okay, you can go out of a restaurant, take your phone, click on a button, and then the car comes from the parking to you, for example, and so on, like what we have been in James Bond movies.
Correct.
And the guy is really considering and playing with the risk of people here with full security today. He is at a different scale compared to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs revolutionized the mobile telephony while he came from the computers. And same Elon Musk, he came from computer science and he went into the automotive, electrical driving, transportation, e-mobility, and then the aerospace transportation. Okay.
Yeah, and I feel that, I mean, I see the analogy in the past with Bill Gates, because he used to be the computer genius, the computer geek, but he gets not so much follower because, but Elon Musk is the kind of extremely humble figure that everyone want to be his friend. That's the big competitive edge that he gets over anyone else for now.
Yeah.
And
but
even if he fails, everyone support him.
Just to finish on this, I mean, Bill Gates is not crazy enough. These two guys are very crazy. And if you want to make great innovations, you have to be extremely crazy. And I believe these two guys have been much more innovative than Bill. Bill has been there, the first one. He is lucky because he had the first one to build a Microsoft stuff, but this Microsoft was not genius. So he was there much earlier than the others. Okay. How are you doing with the presentation of Jessica?
I was able to
I'm launching it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vendacity, the future of e-commerce. I am Victor Frank Wepf from Switzerland and Business Development Director of Vendacity Limited. Today we will present you the next level of experience in e-commerce, Vendacity. The presentation is held by Jessica Morales, our communications assistant. Please, Jessica.
Thank you, Dieter, for the warm introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Morales. I am the communications assistant for Vendacity, and I'm here today to tell you more about our company. Vendacity is a UK-based e-commerce business that conducts business-to-business, customer-to-business, and customer-to-customer transactions. We offer a wide range of products which include fashion, home and furniture, electronics, digital media, physical media, and many more. Vendacity's main objective is to create an e-commerce marketplace for all individuals, regardless of geographical location or lack of access to conventional financial instrument. The Vendacity team is comprised of a strong group of reputable individuals from various locations across the globe. Vendacity has many effective features. Most notably, we offer fast and efficient service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our secure payment platform, which includes escrow service and allows purchases to be made using cryptocurrency. Peer-to-peer transactions that include trade option through barter, the sale of new, used, and digital products and services, all offered at competitive prices. Our platform offers advertisement opportunities for our vendors and serves as a business directory. We are a payment gateway for merchants to accept cryptocurrency. And our members have access to our fiat and coin trading platform at excointial.com. The list goes on. Vendacity is an e-commerce platform startup. Our main goal is to offer a variety of products and services at competitive prices to all countries globally, including developing countries in Africa. Our platform will function 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and is coupled with an efficient delivery system. We are official partners with FedEx, and we are working to grow additional partnerships. We offer a highly secure payment system that will be integrated with the Avcash payment gateway system that accepts cryptocurrency along with all other major payment methods. As we know, the industry of e-commerce is growing increasingly. Let's have a look at Africa specifically. With the middle class on the rise, the purchasing power will follow. According to the Africa Development Bank, spending within this group of over 1 billion people is expected to rise 42% by the year 2060. Consumption within the continent increased from 364 million in the year 2000 to over $1 trillion in 2012, at an annual growth rate of 10.7%. Another report by McKinsey shows that online shopping accounts for 10% of retail sales. This would translate to a whopping 75 billion in revenue, considering 50% of the population will have internet access by the year 2025. Based on this information, our anticipated revenue in the Nigerian market is as follows: over 3 million in sales in our first year, over 7 million in sales in our second year, and 12.5 million in sales in our third year. Vendacity's effective marketing strategies, our unique innovative concept of Avcash cryptocurrency payment system, careful development of our products, along with strategic partnerships and a profitable revenue model, shows we have the ability to become a highly regarded resource in local, national, and international markets. Ultimately, Vendacity has the ability to provide lucrative returns to potential investors. We invite you to visit our social media platforms to learn more and get in touch with us. Thank you very much for your time.
That's it?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So that was really good, very clear. I appreciated the video. It's a great target here. You are focusing on the example of the fashion, the retail, the e-commerce, and also taking the example of emerging regions in the world like Africa, where you have a low income there. With the numbers you provided, yes, there is a great penetration, for example, of internet access and telephony access, and a lot of things in Africa that could be strange for us, because we believe that, first of all, they should have electricity. In rural places, countries like Zambia, for example, probably 75 to 90% of the country doesn't have energy access, and it's very much rural, but these people still have access to internet and still have access to telephony, and they can do a lot through this. Let me ask you the question, where is the innovation, what you are presenting? Is it in the technology platform? Is it in the way you market it? Is that fully owned by Vendacity that you spoke about, or you have a partnership?
I'll go ahead and take this question. So there's on multiple levels of innovation, including the technology within the platform itself. But I think the number one thing that sets us aside is the ability to make purchases using the cryptocurrency.
Okay. And in Africa, which countries now you have piloted this already? Nigeria is the only one, or did you pilot that in sub-Saharan Africa?
We're planning to launch in Nigeria. We haven't yet.
Okay. And then you know that there is like telecom operators, for example, in Africa, that have a partnership with banks. For example, Societe Generale has a service called YUP, YUP, which helps people through their phone to do like electronic payments. Okay, and they have done that in partnership with a mobile operator there. I've seen also Microsoft has worked with a company in partnership for Asia to develop also similar services. There is certainly a market, otherwise these banks or operators or IT companies would not go there. Now, I know the market well. I happen to be the chair of the governing board of REAP, which is an international organization focusing on renewable energy and energy efficiency partnership and investment in green finance, mainly in Africa. So with projects in sub-Saharan Africa and so on. And that could be interesting as well to bundle it with the energy access services, for example. Could be an interesting idea to look at, because these projects of energy access are huge, are impressive. They are funded by international development organizations, like Sweden Foreign Ministry, for example, has funded a project executed by REAP called Beyond the Grid for Africa, Beyond the Grid for Zambia, and then Beyond the Grid for Africa. And I think this service and offering that you are talking about, bundled with the energy access as a retail, as an e-commerce, as a payment, because these people also have to pay on a regular basis. So when they ask for energy access, where people come give them 2 solar panels and a battery, then they start paying every month. Okay, so then a mobile phone and the payment is needed for that. Could be interesting.
So you ask about partnership.
Yeah, did you think about that? Yeah, about this bundle, actually, energy and electronic payments.
Maybe I can come in here with that. We have a partnership already with some transportation company as well. That is also important. Transport is an issue as electricity is in
Sure.
And we have a partnership with InterSwitch, which concern these payments. So we have a call coming in, sorry. And I think that is one part that we have. And also what is electricity, we have also partnership in that field, what you mentioned with green energy and things like that. So.
Okay.
Let me jump in this scale because in Nigeria and neighbor countries, the technical part is of the most important. Of course, there is a payment system called InterSwitch, which has a lot of partnerships around Africa. But usually the problem with the two major problems come up with people who actually supposed to be users of such financial tools, financial and commercial tools. First of all, there are many people who have no access to conventional banking systems. There is a whole lot of people of this kind who are unable to even have account in the bank. And from this moment, it is a good opportunity for the cryptocurrencies payment system to jump in and fill this gap. Because cryptocurrency has all the brand new properties and brand new ideas, concepts, which make it work faster, and also it can speedify their transaction and make them more reliable, especially when they have bad internet connections. So, for example, many people who are not new to cryptocurrencies, they heard of MetaMask browser extension, for example, or many other alternatives to this. So when you have bad internet connection, you will have issues with even this extension. So you are broadcasting a transaction and it appears on the blockchain mainnet in for example a week, without you even knowing this. So it is a major problem. And imagine the problem with conventional financial institutions. So we are here to resolve problem, and we have more than a year experience of dealing with local people in Nigeria.
Yeah, we have a team on ground already. Yeah.
Where do you stand today in terms of growth, go-to-market, and so on? Can you remind me a bit how many years you have been there?
You mean with Vendacity? Vendacity is brand new and not launched yet. Our target is Nigeria, because it's a huge market. first of all. And if it comes to e-commerce, there is a wide, let's say, empty space there that we could fill. Yeah. So that's why I think the African market is really impressive, because it's not used or just partially. And there we want to make a plus in adding of banking solution, what Sasha just said, but also other issues like electricity, like what you mentioned before. There's also other things, because our platform, like Jessica said in the video, this is also good for rural people to sell their goods without moving, without going. I think we really catch a lot of issues on ground. And we have our team on ground already who are working there, marketers. But of course, we need an injection as well to push the marketing and to go on the next level, which is the growth level.
Okay. So the agriculture, did you think about using that as well to help the farmers, for example, to do their e-commerce of what they produce, of their lands?
Exactly. And we have a partnership there with over 2 million rural farmers already. So it's really easy for us to go to the next level. Yeah.
Okay. And this is in Africa, but could apply also in other regions where you skip all the intermediary parties, for example, between the farmers, the producers, and the end customer. What we call in French circuit court is a short circuit, actually, where the supply chain is direct from the producers to the end customer.
Exactly. That's it. We know this a little bit from eBay, but of course we have a lot of other features which is specific on the local situation, we can say so.
Okay.
But
Well,
of course,
I'm sorry, let me interrupt you. It is a not local situation, actually, because recently we made a check how eBay would work, for example, in the Eastern Europe, specifically in Ukraine. The guy whom we know has placed an item for sale and decided to make it available for local delivery here in Ukraine. And we were surprised to discover that actually another person from Ukraine cannot purchase it using eBay and go for the local pickup. So this feature is very required, not only in Nigeria,
not only in Africa. Yeah.
Not only in Africa.
This is, I wanted to come to that point. Of course, we are not focused only on Africa or only on Nigeria. We are focused on worldwide. But of course, we have to start somewhere, and we have to focus on one main country, let's say, for the beginning. Yeah.
Okay. When is the year one? When you say year one, sales 3 million, and then you go up to 12.5 million in year 3. What is year one for you? This year or next year?
So I think this year, we don't know exactly with the situation we have. I think this year it will be nearly impossible to achieve the first 1 year goal. Let's say 1 year has 12 months. If we really can start working in let's say in July, so that means July 21.
And that's why we're here. We're looking to hit our target, our fundraising target. Once we're able to do that, we will be able to launch effectively. So we're in the developing stages still. Once we reach that point where we're able to fully launch and go live, that's where those numbers are projected from.
Okay. Can you give me an idea of like a person days that were spent on the development of this platform?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Can you give me an idea of the effort? How many person days have been spent on the development of this e-commerce platform?
I'm so sorry, my connection is poor.
Sorry,
How many?
The question is
the cost to develop this platform, whether it's person days or millions, whatever.
Okay, yes, we're looking in the millions. We have had personal self-investments among friends and family of the business of upwards of 280,000, and our goal is to raise around 15 million.
Okay, and how many persons worked on the development of this e-commerce platform, and for how long time?
Just let me address this question, because Jessica, yes. So you can base on on a team of 20 people who are working starting from November 18. And still the work is going on. We had an alpha launch last year, have a beta launch this year. Our platform was tested by a few local sellers. They have pointed out their issues, what they want to improve, and we are still developing, and this is an ongoing process. We are targeting to speedify and extend this process, because we have a lot of ideas how to extend our features, and also how to make this function like a Swiss watch, especially in African regions where internet is bad. This must also work there.
Okay, and Nigeria is the first country where you start. You are not experimenting that in other easier countries where internet connections are easier.
Well, this is not most major problem, the easiness of internet connection. We are here to solve problems of people, and our basis point was chosen also because Nigeria is one of the richest countries in this region. It is one of the top oil producing countries also, so it is a good market to start.
Exactly, and we have an overpopulation of more than 200 million people, so that means only 2% of the market, and we achieve these goals that we saw in the video. We have also a marketing team already operational, which is working, over 20 people who are working day and night to promote it. They are working, by the way, also remotely, and half of them are working from Africa. So we are working only online. So the internet is there, maybe not so stable like we have it in Europe, but we are working, and all these people are working remote, so it's possible.
So what do you mean, coming back to the project and the step one? So when you say we are an e-commerce platform which offers access to very known manufacturing brand products, how does it work, and what kind of products, what kind of brands, for example, manufacturing brands?
We target to represent everything that eBay is representing and even more, starting from used and new items for small retail items, and ending with even industries and real estate too.
Okay, so the non-strategic as well strategic procurement, for example, or transactions. And then for the Nigeria, for the people in Nigeria, okay, they will be from which side? From the guys who sell products and use the e-commerce for that, like they use for eBay, or from the other side?
Okay, let me address this question. All the charges are from the seller, which means that the price which buyer sees on the screen is the entire spending, his spending. Well, possibly not including the banking transactions if he was going to pay with fiat currency, but in cryptocurrency he is expected to pay exactly this price, and all the charges go for seller.
Okay, I understand. Okay, good. So look, I understand. I will see where yeah, there could be investors interested in this. As I said, in my role as the chair of the governing board of REAP, which is very much focusing on Africa, but more for the energy access commerce, for the energy access and so on. There is a number of investors that this organization works with.
Let me jump in here too. Yes. Let me jump in here too. We had several inquiries on this matter too. Local people who wanted actually access to energy without wires. They wanted. They invited us to invest our technical part and invest some money into basic infrastructure for delivering batteries to them. So they can charge those batteries with their own wind generators, and once the battery's resource is exhausted, they send it back. We actually put it on hold because there are issues with environmental issues, and we must resolve them too. But we have many inquiries on this matter, because this is a problem for many regions, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa too.
That's true. Like, if I may come in here, with the partnership we have with the rural farmers, we implement an office there where we put solar energy so that they have always energy, and of course the internet, so that they are able to connect to each other and also have the possibility to upload their products or whatever. So that is also part of the project, which is in this way, we can say, even a little bit humanitarian, not only not only business. But just to say, we are looking into that part as well. So, and we are pretty open, and we have some projects also in that field, combined, of course, with our goal of the e-commerce.
Okay. Good. Can you repeat again the funding before I go to Christian Farioli? The funding you are looking for?
We're aiming for 15 million at this point.
Okay, 15 million, and this is considered like a Series A, or?
This is a sum we estimate enough to succeed in Nigeria and capture a segment there.
Okay, because you need you would have in every country a platform, or Nigeria, it's more like one of the countries that will use the platform, and the platform will be the same and unique.
This is just a user base we are targeting for the first stage. We are not rejecting a user for any part of the world, and the platform remains the same.
Okay, got you. Good, thank you. That's interesting. I think there's a lot of applications behind it, and there is also a social responsibility behind it as well for the people in Nigeria and Africa. And you know, if we can combine financial and social benefits, it's attractive for some investors who are looking as well for socioeconomic benefits, and that could be banks. A lot of banks are also setting up new teams, new business models, where they look after the outcome-based finance, and this is a kind of outcome-based finance as well. Thanks a lot. Christian.
Wonderful.
Now the floor is yours. You heard a lot from the others, and then tell us a bit your story.
Very good. I spent for the last 14 years in Dubai, helping companies understanding and getting something out of what's called the digital marketing, something that has been doing for the last 17 years, but apparently only the last few years, everyone woke up and realized that this is something good and interesting to look at it. At the same time, because a lot of my clients are into healthcare space, I set up a team with some of with other partners, and we created MeltCare, your connected healthcare assistant, which is an extremely revolutionary concept. Even more interesting is the slide that I'm just gonna show up now, because even though that UAE is a beautiful country, Dubai is a nice city, everyone has heard about Dubai, beautiful weather, except in summertime where it's better to go out because it's a little bit too hot. In UAE alone, the healthcare spending per year, it's $19 billion. So in the small country of UAE, $19 billion are spent every year in healthcare, out of 10 million residents only. So this is a massive number. That's why we decided to do something about it. Because at the moment, the best healthcare information providers in UAE and also worldwide are Google and social media. So we go to Google much more than our doctor. And I'm sure that each one of us has a search sometime, something related to I feel a pain here and there, and you search in Google before going to the doctor, or you ask your friends in social media. So this is crazy, because imagine that a doctor go through 5 years of university, practicum, master, etc. Still we trust Google more than our doctors. That's why a lot of clinics and doctors are struggling to get patients. Even more interesting is to find out the online demand for healthcare services in UAE alone. We're talking about 517,000 searches each month in UAE alone. And then we're talking about 115 million searches worldwide that people search for doctors, clinics, hospitals, or medical treatment. So this is a massive number for a small country. That's why we focus our attention just in UAE. Then, of course, our plan is to expand worldwide. But just in UAE, we have the possibility to take over an entire country in a very small amount of time. It's interesting to know that the majority of searches actually happen on a mobile phone, not even on a normal computer. So we know that an app is exactly what everyone is looking at. Now, there are many problems for the actually healthcare providers. So hospitals, they are growing like mushrooms in UAE and worldwide, but especially in UAE. So there are at the moment 8,600 doctors in Dubai only. So you can imagine the competition that they are going through to get patients. And actually I'm facing them myself, because with my agency, we are helping many clinics and many healthcare providers. Then also the specialists struggle to get busy, because most of the users, they want to go on the peak time when they leave the office or at lunchtime. And so during the day, a lot of hospitals and doctors are completely empty. Also, people are not going to doctor for lack of time, except in extreme cases. We really try to find solution online, and we prefer to choose any kind of crazy online solution rather than going to the doctor. That's why the healthcare cost is increasing, and then it starts becoming unbearable for a lot of individuals. So the solution is MeltCare, an integrated healthcare assistant powered by our health artificial intelligence. Easy and fast, online authority, because contain an entire medical encyclopedia in English and Arabic language, and also is extremely easy to use. So doctor and pharmacy can get busy even outside of peak hours, because we offer visits from the platform itself. So the platform, they give you the solution to the basic problem. They even can give you OTC, over-the-counter medicines, but at the same time, we make sure that when you have a bigger need, then you visit the doctor. You can consult online the doctor. And when the doctor gives you a prescription, then you can even go wherever you are, either collect from the pharmacy or you get delivered to you, wherever you are. So basically, that's why it's a total healthcare assistant, because it's your doctor and it's your pharmacy and it's a medical encyclopedia with you. We tested it with a very small marketing budget, and that's my job. That's why it's been very easy for me to get 167 patients in just a month, and something is getting crazy here. So that's why is what's going on here? Life is getting crazy. All right. And in just a month, we got 167 patients, 23 doctors, and 6 pharmacies. They sign to test the service. Now, at the moment, we are in a prototype version. We don't have a working system. But simply by doing some quick survey, then we are getting people and pharmacy and doctors signing up extremely easy. So we adopt the Booking.com business model, actually a slightly variation of it. Very simple, that we provide a lot of services for the user. Users are going to be extremely happy. And then we're going to charge the healthcare providers with a percentage. So basically, we deliver clients to them and they are happy. But this, it's a great, crazy number, because if we look at $19 billion yearly spend, we consider that we are going to charge 10% the healthcare supplier. So we're looking at $1.9 billion market cap. Out of this, if we consider to get only 3% of the entire market, we're looking at $57 million per year. And this is only the revenue from the healthcare services. Now, the biggest value will come out from the data, but we can discuss about this only in a private meeting. What we're looking at is to get $1.2 million to start the phase 1, which is to go from prototype to working system, signing up more doctors and clinics, pharmacy and labs, and signing of massive amount of waiting list ready users. Then in the phase 2, we're going to working with more doctor and more pharmacy, signing more doctor, clinic, etc. And in the phase 3, going international and go for the big expansion. The exit strategies and the way to monetize our company, MeltCare, is very simple. It's a cash cow. So $57 million per year revenue with a simple 3% of the market achieved. That's not bad, right? Then obviously the step 2 is going to be merger and acquisition. There are many huge healthcare groups in the Middle East, and then we believe that we can get many of them. Now, our founding partners all have a massive amount of experience. That's why, for me, that's one of the major unique selling points. Because myself, I've been working directly with a lot of healthcare supplier, and this is one of the major problems for most of the company, is how to find out a good marketing company or marketing person that can do the job. So actually, we don't need to look forward, because that's me, that I'm going to do the job. And my founding partner, Corrado Genovese, is also an international entrepreneur, startup wizard, and owner of several pharmacies and healthcare clinics. So he knows first place all of the problematic of a clinic, of getting clients, and that's how his healthcare experience it helped. Then Alala Babidi also is in Dubai for as long as myself, almost 15 years, and is also the founder of eDoctors. eDoctors is a platform that has a lot of database and encyclopedia in Arabic language and English language in the Middle East. Then we have other team members that come from huge organizations, from Accenture, PwC, Pfizer, and a lot of and developers, which are also extremely strong, that I got the pleasure to meet at some events, and they're still with us. Now, we really believe that we have the winning project, the winning team, and this is going to be the winning investment for any investor or VC interested in having a conversation forward. So have a chat with us, please. And then I'm going to be happy to share more details. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Excellent. So that's an interesting area. And there are different players. You spoke about eDoctor, right?
Yes. I mean, eDoctors is the company of one of my partner, actually.
Yeah. And
so that is going to provide basically the entire medical encyclopedia, because eDoctors is a purely medical encyclopedia only. So we're going to go the extra mile. I mean, we're going to integrate that data, but then we're going to connect patient with healthcare suppliers, which mainly are doctors and pharmacists. But also we're going to connect insurances, because UAE is a country where the vast majority of people, they have an insurance. Now, insurance costs are getting crazy expensive, because clinics are taking advantage. But as soon as we lower down the cost for a visit, so the cost of insurance will go down, and then everyone is going to be happy.
Okay. So why a medical encyclopedia is needed, and for whom?
I mean, simply people are looking online, and at the moment, the majority of people, they look in Google, simply. So our job is to get people. And in Google, mostly the same results that come out in the Middle East are the results that come out in most of the country, which is WebMD, one of the first results that come out, and Mayo Clinic, it's another. Now, when you have not only an encyclopedia, but when you have a real doctor that can help you, so that's going to be the much bigger advantage than just simply finding the solution on Google. If you feel a little bit of a headache, you can try. You look in Google, you find the solution, good. But when you really need a doctor, then either you go to a hospital, you go to a clinic, or you have a relative of yours, which is a doctor, and you can call him. Otherwise, you cannot. You are at work, you feel pain somewhere, you cannot consult a doctor, because you need to take your time off from work, go to the hospital or the clinic, queue up, park, get inside, take time, registration, the typical hospital. So we're going to disrupt the healthcare industry.
Okay. So did you look at other players like eDoctor, for example, in other countries? Have you studied the market to see who are the other players? Give me some names.
Yes, actually Practo is the number one because it's a company born in India, but founded by the Google venture capitalist. So when we read the news, then we know that we were in the perfect track, because obviously there is not going to be only one player in the world, especially because the UAE healthcare market is extremely different than any other country. The game of Practo and some other supplier is to get healthcare available for everyone, especially for the low-income people. Because in UAE, everyone has an insurance, because by law, in most of the Emirates, including Dubai, you are forced by law to have an insurance, a healthcare insurance. There is not such a thing as low-income people. So the game is not to bring insurance, to bring healthcare to everyone. The game is to get somebody that can access their doctor from everywhere, especially when you go on holiday. So basically, we recreate on digital what used to be the family doctor. Family doctor is somebody that knows you, know your history, know your past, and you know kind of well what you may have if you have a simple headache, because you know your history. But this is a problem nowadays, because the medical history is never available. And every single time you go to a new hospital, a new doctor, he will need to visit you again from scratch. And a lot of mistakes happen because there is no medical history. So that's the biggest difference, that we are going to bring the medical history on the platform so anyone can see that.
Okay, and you would not be facing any privacy issue here by sharing, for example, the file of someone who doesn't want to share it with all doctors?
I mean, obviously, the person needs to agree on the sharing. That's, I mean, we all live in a privacy world, which luckily in UAE is not extremely strict like in other countries. There is obviously privacy rules, especially in healthcare, but it's not so strict as other countries. Obviously, it's all going to be recorded on blockchain, so there is no chance that the detail can sneak out. Basically, the patient is going to share the clinical information with the doctor that is visiting in that moment for the time that is needed. And then he can even switch it off and keep it for himself. So we don't need to make our life visible to everyone, only in the right moment for the right doctor. But the doctor obviously is going to take a huge advantage of it, because he's going to avoid doing mistakes or prescribing the wrong medicine, or even find out what actually the patient is actually taking, because that's another big problem. That's any doctor doesn't know your history, and we're going to fix that in a big time.
You know in which other country of the world that is in place?
In few countries, I mean, in the United States, there are a few players. Again,
no,
this
about sharing the patient records, for example, across platforms that are in interoperability, for example, where you go to the doctor and he finds out the whole history, your whole CV, your whole consultations, and your whole scanners and so on, all directly. You don't need to open your mouth to tell him what happened to you in the past. Do you know in which country you have that?
We've done few surveys. We noticed that this is something that is getting more popular. Actually, it was more popular when we started, and now is getting more close in some other country.
No, but so not popular where the platform is in place, where it works.
I mean, I know that in United States there are few platforms that they work quite well.
In Austria, 70% of citizens of Austria are on that system. And I've been a university who worked on an interoperability system, which brings all the data and then communicates, interface the whole data between the hospitals, the clinics, the pharma, and so on. That means that when a patient, for example, go to visit the doctor, he's got the whole history and the whole information of the patient.
Right. The Austria, that was, I mean, we've done a huge research. I was more involved into the market for UAE because it's quite different. But thank you so much for pointing out. And also in Iceland, Iceland is another crazy country that they've been mapped even the genome of people, of every Icelandic resident. So some countries are extremely open to it. Others, so and so. UAE is one of the countries that want to be the best in the world for everything. So including in healthcare, which at the moment they're not doing much great things. So that's why we focus on UAE, because we're sure that, and because of our connection as well, we know that we have a lot of support from government entity, including the healthcare authority, which is the one that want to shine at the global level, at the global scale for technology innovation.
For the appointments you could take on internet, where you can have access to the agenda, and then pick up the slot, the agenda of any doctor, for example, whether
that's
he
going to
works
be
in his own clinic, or he works in his own office or clinic or a hospital, and then when the slot becomes available immediately, you get notified and so on. That also, do you know who is doing that in the rest of the world? Have you studied it?
I know a company that a friend of mine introduced me, that in Italy they also have a system that that works in a lot of clinics in Italy. Now I'm not familiar into every country, because
yeah, sure. But this one in Italy, is it for helping the patients? For example, I'm sitting here behind the desk. I have a headache. I want to take an appointment. I go to internet, and then I found out.
Yeah. You don't need to queue in the hospital at all. You just go online and you do all of your booking, all of your appointment with the doctors. But then you need to visit the clinic. You need to visit the hospital.
No. There are two things. First, is a nightmare to pick up the phone and call many doctors to have an availability.
Yeah.
Second, you need to have an availability in the nearby. Third, you could have physically, and most of the visits were done physically, face to face. And then when the COVID came, actually they heavily increased the number of remote consultations. And that is becoming now a standard and normal everywhere. Okay. And the COVID helped actually that you do a video conference, for example, consultation. In France, there is a company now which valuation is one of the only two companies that are unicorns that are above 1 billion valuation, and they do that.
I think that's the company that bought the Italian one recently. I mean, recently I'm talking about maybe a few months ago.
You are talking about Doctolib?
I don't know the French company, but my friend was telling me that those company in Italy has been recently acquired by the French company.
Okay, so here what you are talking about is the mixture of this plus of the Austrian case, where you have an interoperability between all the systems, and at the end you are providing a holistic 360-degree solution for the patients, and also connecting the pharma, the hospitals, the clinics, and the doctors. You are providing something more ambitious than even the combination of these two.
Yes, true. But at the same time, we start and born digital. We don't pretend to go to the hospital and convince them to change to us. Okay, that's why in our evolution plan, the hospital come in the third phase. We start with a smaller clinic, smaller doctors, and then the hospital are going to come to us. So basically, we provide a kind of Uber Eats service for clinics. From the point of view of a clinic, we deliver patient to them. And that's why we need also financing. We need an investor, because we need to obviously connect to existing systems used by the major clinics, by the major doctors. That's how we know the availability of their doctors, which in the beginning, they can allocate a certain amount of hours per day where their doctor is going to be available for online services. And this is going to be simply for us. And then after, when this start picking up more, they are going to be the one asking us to please connect with them, with their system, because they want to do more online visits than what they do offline.
Okay, so your job is to move the physical consultations to remote consultations, video conference.
Yes, correct.
Okay. While the other one is to help making the appointment, the example of France, which maybe
exactly
company in Italy. Okay, so here is more and more the COVID also showed us, and there are also some countries where it's very much adapted, that we could be anywhere and we would like to have remotely access to someone, and then who could advise us, make the consultation. You go as well on the payment directly here on this platform, while the other one, for example, Doctolib, which came to evaluation of more than 1 billion, the payment is not done on the platform. You pay directly to the doctor.
Yes, yeah. Now, obviously, I mean, we're gonna, because of the insurance, when you have your insurance, you don't need to pay nothing. The only thing, in some case, depending on what insurance you may have, you need to pay only the excess. So let's say it's gonna be, let's say maybe $10 per visit. And this is something that even those $10 can be heavily discounted or almost given away for free if you use the app. Because the clinic save a lot of money. Those kind of money that they save, they can go somewhere else. And because also we make a commission out of it, we want to give the maximum support to the users.
So, yeah,
For
so
us,
tell me,
at the
what's
center is the user.
What's the commission? Is it, I saw like 3% somewhere?
No, 10%, simple 10% commission.
So you take 10% commission on the transaction fee. So if a consultation is 60 euros, you take 6 euros.
Exactly, correct. And out of these 6 euros, some of them, they come back as a points and loyalty, etc., to the user.
Okay, like you could have maybe on Uber or something.
Because exactly, because user for us is king. User is at the center. Is the one that he get the preference.
So
then,
how many users you have today?
I mean, we got in a month 160, 190 users with a minimum advertising budget. So it's extremely easy for me because I'm a digital marketing pioneer, and I'm working with so many clinics, and also I've been training the marketing team of companies like Bayer and Novartis to know how to get more clinics, more doctors, more patients. For me, it's easy. That's my daily job.
Okay. So yeah, I know. I mean, but then Dr. Leap started like this as well, and for them it was like a simple. And now they have almost everyone is on this platform today. Yeah. Everyone. Okay, you cannot imagine the doctor which is out. Hospitals, all the same. Labs, blood analysis lab, and so on. All of them. So it's very easy. So so the whole platform is developed, is live.
No, we have a prototype. We have a prototype version. That's why to go for the next step, we need an investor, serious investor that come on board, not only with funds, but also with the potential for international expansion. Now, we don't need, to find only money, okay, is one game. But if it's an investor or a VC, which is also into the healthcare space, or is also into the international market, that's going to be what we're looking at, because this is something huge. As I say, only in UAE, by taking only 3% of the market, we're looking at $59 million revenue per year. So
57, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. You have very good memory. When you look at worldwide, the number, it's not even possible to calculate. So, but we are happy to start with UAE because it's a small country with an extremely high spending per capita, and that's going to help us like completely having the country enrolled. And after we have the entire country enrolled, that's going to be easy to scale up to go for a massive round B, and then go.
So you are now in phase 1 or in phase 2?
We are in phase 1.
Okay, so you are looking for the moment for 1.2 million.
Exactly, correct.
Okay.
Until now, we had a seed investor that invested under $1,000, and then all of our time and was of course zero, was free. So only for the initial basic cost, setup, etc. And now is when we need the bigger investor to really start rolling out and to start really signing up hospitals, clinics, legal framework, etc. So that's the phase that we are right now.
Okay, it's clear.
We're extremely confident that this is going to be a major breakthrough, as we already see in other countries, and we are just happy to see other company going up so fast in this kind of similar space.
How many people worked on the MVP prototype?
So we are four main partners, and then there are a few other supporters that are been supporting until now, that are also ready to start full time as soon as we find an investor.
Interesting. Okay, good. Let me open it for questions. Anyone would like to ask a question to anyone else who made a speech today? You maybe to the other example about e-commerce in Nigeria, or Nikita, just burning questions. I know we took a lot of time. We are now at the top of the hour at 5 o'clock. After 90 minutes now we started. I think the 3 presentations were very, very interesting, and it appealed a lot of questions from myself.
I like also all the other systems. I like to ask everyone, what are your digital marketing plan? How you are planning to expand or to reach the right audience, if you already had some idea about it. So this is a question that I would do to everyone. So just maybe you can you can regulate and ask one by one to answer.
Sure. Anybody would like to answer?
Can I answer first, because
Sure.
I had to go. I have only
Sure.
2-3
Sure.
minutes. So we're just developing regular channels like Facebook, Instagram, and so on. So we have our investors here in Russia, and we just using performance marketing tools, usual performance marketing tools. But for true, we don't know how to involve, how to how to engage customers from outside of Russia. So this is a good question. We don't know how to make performance marketing and marketing at all, digital marketing for neighbors. Okay, so for me it's a good, very good question, and we will search the answer.
Very good, very good. All right.
Everyone, thank you for chat and for this moment. I have to go. I will leave our presentation here, and if you will be interested in SMEs in Russia, please connect me. Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
What about then any question to each other? Somebody would like to reply to Christian?
Or how about Madeleine? Any digital plan how to promote your beautiful app?
Yes. So we have a marketing team, like I mentioned, also on the ground. Unlikely is now a little bit the situation of the lockdown that stops us from going also out of the house. But in the moment, we are pushing the digital marketing. That means on all platforms, wherever we have Vendacity accounts and people can visit, and we have our designers as well that designs and make the posts attractive. Yeah. And there is how you globally go worldwide with information, with response to the people who attend. We have in Telegram huge groups where people can interact, ask questions, if they have problems with registering and all that, as we have the beta version launched already. So we have some experience in that. So, and we have a marketing team that handles that. That is, we need now for the next push, the investment to really go out then and also go to the television, radio station, newspaper to achieve the next level. Yeah.
If I can add to that as well,
Yes,
the money for paid advertisements will definitely be a huge push, but we also have the benefit of cross advertising within our own companies. We have Africunia Bank, and we have the benefit of, cross marketing between companies on all platforms, like she mentioned, Facebook, Instagram. I think we've tapped into most available platforms already.
Okay. What do you think about this medical example? I guess that should be extremely relevant for Africa as well.
Yes. It is very required everywhere. Actually, in Ukraine, the popular service is Sinevo, and I actually I use their services. I use their medical lab to make some analysis, and came up with became familiar with Vitagram application, which collects the data, which can connect you to doctors. But I was actually not compelled to use it.
What's the name of this application you are talking about?
Vitagram. Vitagram. Vitagram.
And what is Vitagram doing?
They are collecting the analysis from Sinevo Labs, so they are partnering with them, and also they provide the coupons for a discount analysis. and they are advertising. They are repeatedly sending emails to users who already use services of Cinevo Lab. So I think, Christian, you have to check their experience and take advantage of it.
Sure. We know that every month there are few players start appearing in the market with something. We used to, at the beginning, to keep them monitoring more tightly, but definitely we're going to do another round of understanding who is the new player, who are the new players right now.
Yeah, I think I was in contact with Novartis, and they are looking for something like you have.
Everyone now is trying to either build themselves or buying an existing platform. That's why we like to do it as fast as possible, because we know that there are huge players and they're not going to take time to build a platform. Now, COVID and the actual situation make every huge organization realize that if you are experienced in one sector, you cannot do technology. If you're not a naturally born technology company, you cannot do it. So you need to acquire an existing company which is doing it. And that's why we want to do as fast as possible, just to get also this part of the market.
Okay.
Imagine the power of data for a medical company or such an Novartis, that they may know which medicine they are effective on which patients and which doesn't.
Okay, good.
How
did you finance the MVP? I mean, was it like a huge
with the seed investment? Only with the seed investor from it was an investor, a private investor from Saudi Arabia. That put $100,000.
That's
so
great.
All what you are talking about the MVP was $200,000.
$100,000, yeah. Plus, of course, our time, it's free of charge. It will be uncalculable, but obviously the physical money were only $100,000.
Okay, is there like a demo somewhere, or online demo to see what
it's only a game. It's not. I mean, we have a demo app, but we show to investors because it's. I mean, we don't like to show it. I mean, we're not in a stage to say, oh, play around with this, it's good, etc. I mean, it's a purely a prototype, so it's not a working app. Because to make it work, you need to have a proper database structure, etc., etc. So it's purely just a show off. But for any person interested, including yourself, I'm going to be happy to have a quick chat with you on another time and show you the progresses, where I'm going to involve also my partner Corrado, that is more involved into the operational part of the operational and also the investment part of it.
Okay, so I'm going to leave my email as well for
Awesome.
Reach out afterwards.
Awesome. And I can see that you also been researching a lot in a lot of space in a lot of startups. So that's awesome. These are the kind of individual that we need around us.
And I have three brothers who are doctors, actually.
Okay. So you don't need the app. You are one of those that you can just call your brother and he tell you what you have. All right.
I'm in a family of a lot of medical doctors.
Very good.
Our president is a doctor. He's a surgeon.
Ah, wow. So for you don't need the app, but everyone else, unfortunately, they need it.
We have some projects as well, but in this direction, but it doesn't concern Vendacity, so I don't want to go too deep in that.
Okay, no problem. Good. So I think that was a very interesting exchange. I do not want to exceed by much the planned schedule here. We had very good examples of presentations of what could be, very promising businesses. And I think this platform can help promoting it. Dimitri, you may say a few words at the end about the DAO platform, how you move that forward, and how that can help the startups to develop and find investors.
Yeah, thank you very much. So first of all, I would like to thank you for joining this startup pitch session. So this is the first time we hosted this type of events, so I'm really glad by the results, so by the engagement we had here on this session. So what are the next steps? So every one of you are invited to our private network. So this is the kind of a workplace where we share our resources, where we share with the network, with the connections, and etc. So I will send you the invitation link to our private network. So next, we will prepare the pages of your startups on DAO.digital. So if you have not yet completed your brief, startup brief, kindly fill it on with according information about it. We also use your video presentation of your live pitch here in this session. So, and actually you will have your marketing tool for promoting your startup pitch for other investors and etc. So DAO.digital, so from one side, helps startups for finding new investors, and from the other side, we connecting experts who share their expertise with the audience and etc. Also, we promote our platform to investors and invite them to our community. So actually, this event is not the end of this campaign, but actually the start. So we prepare your presentations on the separate pages, and we start promoting DAO.digital and your startup pitches as well. So as more people we get on our platform, the more views you will get from the investors. So we have separate chats on the messengers. So actually we're moving to the next stage, and we're ready to unite everyone on one platform. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So I would like to thank everyone for his time and his interesting speech. I learned a lot, and I think this will be a very interesting forum as well for you, connecting you with other partners to deal with, or other investors. And we are looking forward all to continue working around the DAO.digital platform. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wonderful event. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.